We are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sport for the final European Champions Cup group stage clash that features South African side. The Stormers up against Clermont tonight in Cape Town. And sure, should be a very, very interesting game. We go look at where they are on the log. Stormers currently sitting in fifth place, which would get them, if they were to stay there, into the next round. A victory for them would be perfect. That would take them out. A bonus point win could take them as high as second, actually, in Pool B. Toulouse rather, is still playing later today, or tonight rather, and so they can still move up the ranks. But yeah, it's a big game for the Stormers. They are playing against Clermont, who are sitting at 6 points. Very unlikely. I mean, look, they can get themselves to the top 8, but with Munster and Montpellier, for example, still to play, they're both ahead of them. But yeah, do or die for both teams, really. Both teams going out to try and win tonight, and have to try and win tonight if they want to get through to the next round. We've already seen how the Sharks are going through to the next round. They're currently sitting in second place in Pool A. Exeter Chiefs and Saracens, the only two teams, and Edinburgh who can still catch them. In terms of, if you look at the fixtures, we've got Montpellier, Exeter Chiefs will be playing, I think they're actually playing now, actually. And then you've got Ulster versus Sale later tonight. And then tomorrow we've got Toulouse versus Munster, Edinburgh versus Saracens. So, yeah, only one of them can really chase down the Sharks there. So the Sharks looking all fire. The Stormers need to go out and get a job done. They are playing at home, and home advantage have been very, very important so far in this tournament. So you do tend to really back the home side. And Storm's very much looking to make sure that that sort of home ground advantage continues to serve them well. Because, they're a side that has proven that they can compete from a UFC perspective. They won the damn competition. Now, can they continue their progression? Can they continue growing and become a force in European rugby? And that's going to be a very big step for them to take, to become a European giant, potentially, in the years to come. The sleeping giant that is Western Province Rugby is very awake under John Dobson. The question is, can he continue to keep them refreshed, competitive, and very consistent? Is probably the main sort of goal, really. We've still about 7 minutes left to go until the game will get underway. So we've got a bit of time. If you want to get your beers and stuff, get your beers, your beverages. You need to get your food. It's almost 7:30. So I mean, I assume if you haven't eaten dinner yet, get yourself sorted. I'm sure there's plenty of rides on and around the country. So go and get yourself sorted. You do have still a little bit of time before the action gets underway down in Cape Town at the DHL Stadium. But should we have a look at the team, shall we? Look at the Stormers. It's an almost 2 out of 3 Springboks in the front row. Steven Kitsoff, Joseph Weber, and Netling Bashir. No France Maherba, who this week has signed a new 2-year deal with the Stormers to keep them there for a couple more years. So Netling Bashir packs down with those two. You then got Connor Evans and Marvin Ory in the second row. Very big news for the Stormers. In fact, yesterday is the fact that Ruben van Heerden has signed a contract with the Stormers. Will be linking up with them, add to their lock stock. And then in the back row, you got Dion Free, Villa Engelbert, Hachiba Diamani, who's playing some sensational rugby at the moment. Stefan Ungar comes into the number 9 position. He's next to Cade Voliter, who gets the opportunity with no Moyane. A very big test for the young fly half. He has not played a lot of senior rugby. Struggled with injuries, for example. Very highly rated. Went overseas immediately after school, then sort of came back, and hasn't really had his chance to sort of settle in at this level, but a big opportunity for him. Angelo David, Simon Hartsberg, the 2 wings. Dan Duplessis, who's been in very good form next to Ruan now. He's also playing some nice rugby at the moment. Damian Willems, who, as we all know, is in tremendous form at 15. Off the bench, JJ Kotze, Astor Pamag, Brock Harris. It's a nice front row. I'm a big fan of JJ Kotze. Brock Harris brings a lot of experience. You then got Ben Jason Dixon, and the very exciting news is that Evan Ruiz is back from injury and will be making his comeback off the bench. Herschel Yankees as well, back from the side. Jean-Luc Duplessis, and then Sasha Fairberg Ngomazulu as well, rounding up that bench. If we look at the side of Clermont, it's Georgie Beria, Etienne Foussade, and Rabah Salmani in the front row. They will be backed up by Paul Jerosik and Tibar Lenin, who will complete the tight 5. Alexander Fisher, Killian Tixerant, and Dushel Cancerere are the back row. The half-back pairing is Baptiste Jano and Anthony Bellio. Then Bautista Dalga, which South African fans will be a bit more sort of accustomed to. The Argentine wing starts in the 11 jersey for the men from France. And the other wing is Marvin O'Connor, and then Alex Newsom at full-back. The 2 centers are Samuel Eziela and Sheikh to begin. And then off the bench, it's Benjamin Badu, Daniel Bibi Bazui, David Kubivashvili, Miles Amatosorero, Lucas Desanini, Sebastian Basie, Gavin Mishi, and Francois Collar May rounding up that Clermont bench, who will be playing in yellow, I assume, tonight. Storms will be playing in their home kit, which is blue. We've got a poll running in terms of who you think is going to win the clash, so go and give that a vote. And let me know where you're watching from. Let me know who you're supporting. Hopefully you'll have no technical issues. We did have a few earlier today during the Sharks watch-along. We were fine until kickoff, and then things started sort of going a bit pear-shaped. So hopefully we'll be able to get through this relatively unscathed. And that is the plan anyway. And yeah, fingers crossed that becomes a reality. But yeah, let me know what you thought about the Sharks game, for example. I thought the Sharks, I wouldn't be panicking if I was a Sharks fan. We're through to if I was a Sharks fan, I'd be sitting there thinking, well, we're through, to the next round. That's the main thing. Wasn't our best performance, but 10 points off, the champions of the Premiership 2 seasons ago. Whilst we didn't play particularly well, it's not necessarily the worst result, but little worrying signs in terms of a backline which looked very disjointed. It looked like they hadn't played a lot of rugby together, which they haven't, and it showed. But I think, as the Sharks, I wouldn't be reading too deep into that Harlequins result. If I was a Bulls fan, I'd be a little bit more nervous. They have crashed out of Europe, as the expression goes. And yeah, look, I think it'll suit the Bulls in the long run. They're not going to be focusing purely on the URC, which I think Jake White's basically kind of been doing anyway. So I don't think he'll be losing too much sleep over the fact that they have gone out at this stage. But it's never nice to go out of competition, at the end of the day. And yeah, let's see what the Stormers can do tonight. Let's see if we can have 2 sides, South African sides, into that last 16 for the European Champions Cup. And then tomorrow the Lions will be looking to try and be the first South African side to ever be in the Challenge Cup round of 16. If they can go and get the job next to I think against Dragons tomorrow, which will not be taking a rugby parade, by the way. They have moved venues, so they'll not be taking a blood at rugby parade tomorrow. But we won't be live for that, unfortunately. Yeah, so we will be pretty much the last game we'll be live for. Sunday afternoon games are very difficult. I'm playing cricket. I've got to go and see out a new ball, go and graft hard tomorrow. So I won't be able to be live tomorrow for the Lions game, unfortunately. Sorting a few things out so that we are all there to come at kickoff. But yeah, how's the weekend's been going? How's the life, people? How's the week? How was the week? Yeah, because we had so many issues earlier, we didn't really get to have much of a chat early in the Shark stream. So yeah, whilst we've got to web kick, another 2 minutes to go before we do see the players come out and get things underway. Yeah, how was your week? Let me know. How's life? What's cracking? What's lacking? How's January going for those who might be feeling like it's a very long month, myself very much included. John and I saying, let's see if the Stormers can bring some hope for SA. Albie says maybe the game will be more positive. Did you see Leinster? I don't think anyone beats them this year. I saw a couple of highlights of their tries. I was watching the SA20. My boys JSK finally learned how to play some cricket, so I was actually more focusing on that and keeping a half eye on the Leinster game. But yeah, John said Bulls made it, didn't they? What do you say about the Pretoria Capitals? They look insane. Yeah, Pretoria Capitals very much the favourites for me for this competition. Look very good so far. But hopefully my boys from Joburg will start to operate a little bit. They had a good start to the game in the first innings. Now they need to go out and do the business. Right, 37 people have voted in the poll. Very much backing a home side so far in that poll. Let's get voting, people. Let's get smashing that like. We're sitting on 60 people on the views list here. Only 4 likes. It's a really poor ratio. Let's get up to that 10 like mark, 20 like mark, 30 like mark. Let's try and get people into the stream. Let's try and make this a big stream. It's been a while, It's been a slow start to the year. We're kind of still getting back into things. People are still sort of, a little bit tired from getting back to work. But, we need to start picking things up. At the end of the day, we're talking about World Cup year, people. World Cup year, which means that, we've got to start pumping. We've got to start pumping these streams. We've got to start pumping the content. We've got to start grafting. We've got to start making things happen so that we can make this the biggest possible year. I mean, I'm calling this year the year of rugby because of the fact that there's obviously there's a World Cup and there's a lot of stuff going on. So you know, if this is going to be the world of rugby, the year of rugby, we're going to have to make it the year of rugby. So get smashing that like button. If you're new to subscribe, please do. Come and join the community. And get involved. And welcome to clan, you know. Dion Frank said Leicester was exceptional. There seemed to be vulnerabilities around their set piece scrums and lineouts. Our teams must be maybe exploit that. Yeah, look, I think every team's obviously got a couple of ways in, really, that you can try and get stuck in. Leinster, one of those teams that don't have as many as others. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, if you can find a couple of chinks in the armour and expose them, then why not? I'll be saying, won't be. Are the box playing tonight? They are. They're playing against France. I think it's about 10 o'clock. No, it's actually later than that. Much later than that. I think it is at about midnight. Can't promise I'll be live for that. I must admit, people. I've got to be up. I've got a 2-hour drive tomorrow to get my club match. So yeah, won't be the year of rugby if they change the tackle laws. Well, it's only at amateur level anyway, so don't need to stress about that too much. Anyway, Clermont playing in white and yellow. We'll be playing right to left. Stormers will be receiving the kickoff. We are literally seconds away from the action. And let's see what Clermont can bring down in the Western Cape. Looks like a decent crowd in there. Down in Cape Town. And we do have action underway. They go down to the left-hand side. And should be an early touch that. Oh, a bit of miscommunication. And Ruan now eventually being brought to ground. Does take it very clearly. Stefan Ungra into number 9 jersey. And Chiva Diamani, whose hair is kind of matching the shoulders of the Clermont kit. That very sort of blonde highlights on Chiva Diamani. Early penalty there from the Stormers for not rolling away. So an early exit here for the Stormers. Kate Volta will be able to touch the ball. Be able to find touch. Give himself a bit of confidence as well. The young fly half is into the side. Very interesting to see how he does. No Mike Liebach this weekend. And this is a big chance for the likes of Kate Volta. He has not played a lot of rugby. At all, really, if we're looking at the last couple of years. And you know, need to change that. But injuries have played their role. And let's hope he can get a bit of a run. He can play a couple of games, try and get himself into the mix. Highly rated as Kate Volta. Did go overseas, as I mentioned earlier, before the match. But yeah, you know, needs to play some games. Needs to play some rugby at this level. First throw, it's a bit of a fumble. Eventually does get back to Ungra, and Volta's first touch is a nice one. Just pops it up to Dan Dubussy. Connor Evans almost knocking the ball up. Big hit there on Joseph Dweba as he bumps off one. Now Cape Volta flat to Damien Willems, so gets over the advantage line. Solid carry so far for the Stormers. And Cape Volta acting at the scrum half there. And Angelo Davids happy to take contact. And now Ungra can get back and he gives it to Ned and Bashir. Thought about the offload. It hits hard in the tackle. They've lost a few meters there. Have the Stormers. But Stefan Ungra back to Willems at first receiver, who's stepping back on the inside. Again, doesn't really make too many meters. So no gain on advantage in the last couple of phases for the Stormers. Now Dion Ferree, he's somebody that always looks to try and find a bit of advantage. Ungra spots a bit of space, and it's a bit of a charge down as well. Daimani is lurking, but it's well taken, and they're going to go back for, I think it's a foot and touch is the call here. It'll be a Stormers line, so they'll have another one another opportunity to try and get some go forward ball there. Right, Joseph Dweba. Go to the front of the line. That's a much better take there from Connor Evans. And he's been clearly taken up before he's gotten down. There must be a penalty there. Now, interesting decision. Yeah, do they go to the corner? Marvin Ori, I think it is, has stayed down. Yeah, I think that's fair from the referee. Yeah, so I think both things are true there. I think the referee is quite right. He's saying that, you know, you can't hold the player in the air, which I think they did for a little bit, but at the same time, they're not getting the timing right. So they are going to have to have another line out. So they say both at fault, which I think is fair. They bring him down, and the time is much better. The ball comes out to Ungra, gives it short to Dan Duplessis. Quick ball now for Ungra, gives it to Volta. Volta looking for a bit of space, tries to put the grab ahead. It bounces to Dion Ferree, who jumps all over it. Up to the 22 now, the Stormers. Man overlap there. Stephen Kitsoff couldn't get the offload away, but does he find himself into the 22. Now Ungra to Connor Evans. Puts his head down. Going down the blind side there. Skips a couple of passes. The ball comes loose. Shamani looking to clean up under a lot of pressure. And eventually pops the ball back into Angelo Davis, but he was, in fact, in touch. To fast knock out Samoa, I actually have no idea. I must check I actually haven't checked the entire Sevens results, to be honest. I've been a bit slack today. We have all these internet issues and load shedding, so I'm trying to sort that out. Drinking saying, love this. Well, whatever you do, I'm glad you love it. Whatever you're referring to, I suppose I should say. The coaching box, John Dobson, looking... it's a good thing the man doesn't have hair, because he would lose it very quickly. It would be very grey if he did. So probably a good thing he doesn't have any to lose or to grey. The man just looks very upset with Lime all the time. Right, so there it is. The box kick coming in. And it bounces. A knock-on advantage, I think, is the call. Now Clermont looking to counter-attack. It's a nice carry there as well from Batista Guy. And the release, a penalty advantage for Clermont. And they go back for the penalty. So first penalty conceded by the Stormers. And Clermont will have an opportunity to get further down the park. Baptiste Joanneau in his red scrum cap. Not often we see a scrum half in a scrum cap. Very young is the young scrum half. 19 years old. Very exciting player. He was born in 2003. I mean, that one makes you feel old. Does turn 20 later on this year, but only in November, so still a while to go. And that's a nice clearance as well there from below. So Clermont up to the 10-meter line inside Stormers territory with ball in hand for the first time. We're into the 6th minute. It was a quick fast 5 minutes. Some nice little action there. Now long line up there. Good to well taken there. And the early carry there. We'll see lots of carries, I reckon, from Azealia. Now back to the big man. Paul Jodrasky. Just Trevor getting up nice and early to make the tackle. Now almost a bit of an overlap. Kicking behind there from David Willemser, who sees a bit of space himself, I think. Wants to try and settle. Oh, that's a big tackle on him. Coming from Alexander Fisher. Ungra just assessing his options, asking a couple more people to go join the blind side. Marvin already said, oh, if you need me to carry, I'll carry. And he will carry. And now I think we'll see Stefan Ungra hang this up high in the air. Right, Stefan Ungra going high in the air. Pretty deep and a bit of a fumble from the fly half. He returns the favour. Kate Volta back. So fly half to fly half. I think Volta will probably look for find touch here. Right up against touchline, but doesn't find touch. Now inside. A bit of a ping-pong battle. And Damien Willemser will lift this high in the air. He's going to chase it himself. He's definitely given himself a chance. And he's run straight back into his hand. That's brilliant work by Damien Willemser. No Clermont players even trying to contest. Stefan Unger eventually arriving at the ruck. Brings in Connor Evans. Nice carry. He's been nicely involved so far as the young man before lock. Volta, that's good work out there. Angelo Davis on the outside. Comes inside. Managed to bump off his opposite number, which is Batista Guy. The ball goes loose. Stays in fact. A couple of numbers here. Now the chip ahead from Clermont will go out in the full, so we'll go back for the line-out. Very hectic at the moment. Quite not much structure to the game. And I think Angelo Davis has stayed down. Or was it Damien Willemser? A couple of Clermont player down as well. So pretty frantic start this is so far down in Cape Town. Right, so it will be a Stormers line when we do get back. Right, Joseph Weber, who's 1 from 2, although I think, to be fair, I don't think the first one was his fault. I think it went straight through the hands of Connor Evans. So tough to put that down the hooker. But yeah, Alexander Fish taking a while to get up. He's the man who just kicking in touch. It was a big tackle from Joseph Weber as he was trying to clear it with his boot. Nothing in it from a legality point of view, so no issue there. And a massive press conference with the entire Stormers team discussing what they're going to be doing from the set piece. So let's hope we've got something planned here. And the word comes to Joseph Weber from Stefan Unger. Right, what can they conjure up from inside their own half? Can the home side? Nice full stands on the other side there. They go to the front of the Evans to Connor Evans. Pops it to Stefan Unger. Goes to Volta. Goes short down Duplessis. It's a bit pedestrian a little bit, and not kind of momentum they would have liked. Now Joseph Dwebin, that's a nice big hit from him. Angura straight to Quade Volta. Not too many options. Volta sniping around, looking for someone to bring in. Goes himself. Not the biggest of men is Quade Volta. Now go back to Willems in the pocket. Decides not to kick. Goes left to Andrew Bassi. Shows a bit of a dummy and running in and around some of the Clermont forwards. Now Angura still not looking to kick here. Now they go to Willems. And he kind of just sort of chips it downfield. I think he's more asking for this for the return. And the return does come from Alex Newsom. Now Willems says he's going to keep pulling hands. Yep, he wants to get around Batista guy. And just couldn't get the offload to Hashiba Daimon. It's a knock-on into touch. Which means I think we probably have our first line-out. First scrum rather, of the day. Yep, here we go. Big moment in the game. And I think generally, they were saying in the studio before, is if you want to beat French teams, and I think that goes on to the French team, is you got to sort of really match them up front. Physically, you got to try and bully them. You've got to have a really good pack. And... a lot of that comes down to your set piece. So a moment like this, for example, is crucial in the grand scheme of things, and in the entire sort of complexity and the complexion of the game itself. You start well, scrum well, put them under pressure, make them worried about scrumming. That's one of the best things you could do. I'm going to end the poll. We've had 93 votes and 89% saying Stormers. So everybody's really backing the home side. Look, they've looked reasonable so far. Territory has been 78% for them. So they've had all the territory. They're playing in the right areas of the game. But this will be a Clermont scrum. But it looks pretty good shove. And it's a penalty from the Stormers. Exactly what you would like. It's on Stevie Kitsov's side. As you'd imagine, the Spicy Plum Ginger Ninja doing the business. His last season in the Stormers jersey, he'll definitely want to try and finish with a bit of silverware or at least a bit of a decent European Champions Cup run. So the first things first, win this game. They're going to go for the poles, are they? And K. Volta really backing himself. He's right on the left of the corner here. It'll probably be about 54, maybe 55 meters on the angle. Not quite in the corner, but not far from it. And a big effort there from Steven Kitsov. And Clermont tight head, guilty of getting his bind wrong, which is Rabar Slimani. Right, this would be a very big confidence booster if Quade Volta can slot. So it'll be interesting to see what the distance is, if they can have it. I reckon you're probably looking about 55 meters with on the angle here. 53 meters is apparently the official distance. He struck it pretty well. It's coming back though, and I think just comes back too much. So it does slide down to the left. Not his best kick. Distance-wise is probably alright. Where's Clermont in the top 14? I believe they're 10th. Obviously Toulouse at the top of the log. Stade Francais quite far up there. There was Shell in and around there as well. But I think Clermont quite far down. Toulon quite far down. Lyon as well, not in within the top 6. The restart there goes back to Quade Volta. He goes to Chiba Daimani. Daimani gets away from one. Tends to do that quite often. Now Connor Evans. Nice big hit from him. As he drives Etienne Foucault back. Now Quade Volta lifts it high in the air. Hasn't gone particularly far. So this is going to be contestable for Hartzenberg. And it comes backwards and falls to Clermont, who are on the attack now. Chip overhead from Bellier. And David Willems has to go and clean up. And he gets away from one. Brings out the chicken wing pass, inside ball, a nice little handling there from the Stormers, but eventually they do need to find some support, and the support does arrive. They're on the 22 on the right-hand side. There's Steven Kitsov now, just dropping a shoulder a bit there and getting a bit of angle there for Stefan Ungar to work with. He's got lots of options here. He can bring out the box kick and go back to Quade Volta. He's got Dave Willems as well, but it looks like Stefan Ungar will take the responsibility himself. And he does find touch and slow things down. Busy start at the moment to the game, and I think it's positive signs for the Stormers, but can't get complacent. I think their counter attack, for example, kick ahead, they didn't quite win it back. All of a sudden, they found a bit of space and a better kick, for example, or a couple of passes, and they could have been a little bit in trouble. So yeah, it's positive signs, but you can't get complacent. You got to stay awake from a defensive point of view. It's a good line out there from Clermont. They break away and expect to see a lot of running from the big inside center. That is Samuel Azilia. That's a big hit though. Ball comes straight back, and early offside is the call against the Stormers, and I think Clermont now will have an opportunity to have a shot at goals right in front of the poles. Should be much easier effort than what Cape Volta have, and I think Anthony Billier will have an opportunity to have a go here. Well, we're still seeing 11 likes, people. So whilst before the time the shot clock's probably on, it's probably got about 90 seconds or whatever. By the time it takes the kick, got 90 seconds. Let's see if we can get up to 30 likes. So if you haven't liked the video, please do go and like the video. It does help us. It costs you nothing. All you gotta do is touch a screen, but it means a lot to us. It helps us out, you know. So why not? If not, why not? Be a giver in 2023, you know? You know what I'm saying? Yep, good to see the referee hurrying them up there. That's a pretty big away support, by the way. Look at that. It's a whole block of Frenchies. That's good to see. And why not? You know, beautiful weather here. You got the power of the Euro. That's a very good kick from Billier. There we go, 28 points this season for the fly half, 96 in the competition in his career, apparently. And first blood goes to the visitors. Come on, go up to 3 points to 0. Stormers, all the possession so far, really haven't had to do much defending, but do trail by 3. And Cape Volta having missed his attempt earlier. A little bit of a slip there from Dalgai. And Jeannot taking quite a long time to get the ball off the base of the ruck, the 19-year-old, and before he lifts it high in the air, right up against the touchline. David Willems goes up. David Willems takes it beautifully. So good in the high ball, under the high ball, David Willems. Now quick ball, Detlef Bashir. Got the support of his fellow prop. Quick ball for Angera, goes to Volta, goes to Daimani. Oh, nice hands for Daimani. And he goes straight down the middle to Sullivan Hartenberg. Inside, outside, inside, outside. Eventually brought down inside the 22. Vinny Engelbrecht has come and joined him. And eventually does get down to ground. Needs to try and present that ball. Slow ball here for Stefan Angre. Wants to go to the left-hand side. Does go to the left-hand side. Connor Evans, big hit from him. Now Angera, ball over the top. Earlier over the injured player. And you got to think that you probably should have just stopped the game there and given the Stormers, all the Stormers a scrum. Because I think, you know, they've thrown a long pass out wide. The fact that the player down probably comes into that, to be honest. And Clermont captain Consoria is down, receiving some treatment. Big number 8. There's a big hit on him earlier off the kick-off, and doesn't look too particularly happy. Looks to be in quite a lot of pain. And I think we could see Clermont losing their captain early on here. He is up, but not up yet. He looked like he's getting up. Taking a knee now. Yeah, just runs into Steven Kitsoff, and probably a bit of a stinger against Steven Kitsoff, which is never fun. Yeah, so he will be going off. Early change up for Clermont as Conceria goes off. And Lucas Desanya comes on. 23-year-old. Right, so scrum here for Clermont. We're going to have a reset here. And it looks like Steven Kitsoff definitely having a good time up against Lamani. We go again, says the referee. Quite right, we go again. Yeah, I'm sweating bullets out here. There's load shedding, so my fan's not operating. It's hot. These lights are hot. Goodness me, people. It's tough out here. You know, you love the weather, and you don't want to complain about warm weather, but yeepers, it's hot. Right, attempt 2 at the scrum, and Steven Kitsoff seems to be having another go at Lamani on the other side there. Not particularly stable, but this time penalty for Clermont. Knee on the ground is the call from the referee. Josh Driver can't believe it. He's not happy. He's not happy. No, I think Neil Bashir's the man who eventually gave it away. I think Steven Kitsoff was having a good time. I think he's having a good time up against Lamani. I think he's going to relish that battle. I don't think he's going to be too worried about scrummaging so far. Steven Kitsoff, I think he's definitely got the upper hand. And touch finder from Clermont. Should be up towards the halfway line. Neil Bashir's got a bit of blood. It's going to need to be cleaned up a little bit as well. That's nice. A good line up there. Chip over the top is well read by Angelo Davids. Gets away from one. Under a bit of pressure. Almost loses the ball in contact. And the Stormers pack gets back to help. Steven Angura sees a bit of space down that right-hand side. Looking to try and turn. And he's definitely rolled the touch there. That's a really good kick. And he's butchered that here. Marvin O'Connor's gone back. He's slipped. He's rolled. And he's fallen into touch. And he's conceded a line-out well inside Clermont. Yeah, and he just gets it wrong. Then he has to pick it up on the floor, and then he's always scrambling. So it's just outside 22. A really nice opportunity this for the Stormers. And Connor Evans knocks it back to Darmani, gives it back to Dion Faries, and a bit of pressure. Another messy line out there from the Stormers. Hasn't been smooth sailing there so far. Stefan Unger now giving up to Steven Kitsoff, the captain. Well, straight past Darmani. It's well taken in the end by Connor Evans. And it's a lot of pressure. The ball does come down. Turnover ball as well. Backwards though, and now turnover ball once again. So Stormers back with possession. Flat from Unger to Darmani. I'm going to come towards the right side, looking for runners. Not too much option on, so he just puts the ball in behind on Marvin O'Connor, who slipped, and Sunderland Hartsmerg's after him. Eventually managed to rein him back in and bring him down. Billy Engelbrecht trying to get over that ball. And winning a penalty. That is brilliant from Billy Engelbrecht. Goodness me. I don't know how he managed to get his arms there. Good game management this from Mangere, you know, not too much odd for the Stormers, so he decided to put that grabber in behind, which created a bit of doubt. Earlier on, there's a nice, really well-directed up and under from him, so I've been impressed so far with Stefan Unger. Dave saying I'm a Sharks fan, but I can sympathise with the Bulls. Lost last night. Their travel schedule's been shocking. Away to Stormers, Sharks, Dragons, then home to beat Exeter, then away to Leon. 100%, and something that the teams have to sort of really try and manage. He says Bulls will beat Scarlets next week in the URC. I think you're pretty much right. Sean Farrell said, you guys played well against West Queens, just giving penalties and sloppy play. I think you guys put up to anyone this tournament. Interesting shout. Looking like a decent running more this from the Stormers. They're out towards the right side of the touchline as they get towards the 5-meter line. Kitsoff pops it up to Stefan Unger. And do a show and go from Dan Duplessis. Pretty high almost there from the Clermont tackler. But Dan Duplessis getting up towards the 5-meter. Nice carry from the inside centre. Now Unger at 2. Dion Ferreira gets nice and low. And Marvin Ori helps drive him a meter or two further. Now Connor Evans. He's definitely been the top carrier so far for the Stormers. Unger now going to Volta. wants to go short, but goes himself and spins away. And a lot of pressure here is Kate Volta. And I think a knock-on is the call. Yeah, Volta just is caught in 2 miles. Not the first time it's happened. A bit of traffic. It's something on his left shoulder. Not too many options there. And he ended up having to go by himself and completely isolated. And then a knock-on as Clermont tried to get over him. So it will be a Clermont scrum. Yeah, I mean, he's completely isolated. He's got 3 players in and around him. And he's not the biggest man, is Cape Volta. So especially when you look at the likes of Samuel Ezelia. All right, another break in play. It's been a bit stop-start so far. I want to try and get away from this. Come on, let's get going. Let's get going. Well, another scrub here. Steve Kitzel will be licking his lips. It'll be a very nice position to get a scrum penalty. I mean, it's right by the pole. So, I mean, yeah, you almost get a big scrum and you win a penalty. It will definitely be 3 apiece. It'll be pretty much a given. So, big scrum coming. Big scrum. Much more so there from Clermont. They're on the right hand side, and the clearance comes. Yeah, decent clearance. Half between the 10 meter and the 22. And the referee complimenting them on a good scrum, saying thank you. Right, so Stormers once again with an opportunity to attack here. Joseph Durbo, ball in hand. We're feeding the line at the first line from the other side, I think. Second line, I think, maybe from this side. Line's been a little bit sketchy. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Marvin Ori calling this one himself. He's a good line operator, is Marvin Ori, and when the chips go down, he often goes himself, but he goes straight to Connor Evans at the front of the line. Volta, Dion Free, what are you doing putting your hand up there, mate? Mate! Bloody forwards. I mean, Cape Volta trying to throw the long pass out there. Dion Free, I'm not quite sure what he was doing here. Has knocked the dance. So we know the scrum. What's that for TV Sport? I'm a Lions fan. I was born and bred in Joburg. And got to support the lads there. Yeah, I'm not quite. Yeah, and the not happy coaching staff there. John, we're not quite sure what he was doing. It was almost like creating like a crocodile grab for him to throw it in between. So. Big scrum coming from the Stormers there. But another penalty for Clermont. And I think it's nearly Bashir who's struggling. John says Benton beat Stade France, and Lions couldn't. Lions did beat Stade France at home quite comfortably, actually. And Benetton, which is half the Italian side, have beaten them by 3 points at home. So calm down. Before you said the Lions didn't, Lions beat them 30 points to 12. Context here, people. Context. Got to give my boys the credit they deserve. Steer saying, hoping from this game is an ultimate that Stormers beat Clermont and hopefully we beat Sale to go through to the knockouts. Well, always interesting. This is where it gets quite cool when you start seeing, other fans, who are invested in this game despite not being invested in either team, invested in the result. And then we get to knockout rugby, and how cool is it to have knockout rugby in like March and to have several rounds staggered. I love it. Good lineup there though from Clermont as they're into Stormers territory. I think it's the first carry for Ezeala there. Nice low tackle coming from Joseph Dreba on his opposite number, Etienne Foucault, and then being caught at the base of the rack, not being able to roll away and conceding a penalty. It's very frustrating. And Clermont doing very well to just hold him inside that rack. So it should be another 3 points coming the way of the visitors. And I think what's what's probably the most impressive parts is the way that Clermont are really converting pressure into points. You know, every single time they get into, look at the support there. How lekker is that? How lekker is that? We kept waiting to see, you know, will they travel? Look at that. They've got their own little party going on there, all the Clermont supporters. And why not? You've got euros, come and drop dollar or euros. Come drop euros on us, dude. Come and give us all your foreign currency. Please, we need your foreign currency. But cool. I mean, literally, you take a week off from work, you come to South Africa, you go down to Cape Town, you know, go spend a week down in the sun. Why wouldn't you? If not, why not? Should be a pretty straightforward kick, this, for Bilio. He struck it pretty well, and Sales started in the middle of the park. Middle of the pole eventually. Vic said, I don't think the Stormers have recovered from losing Clermont, or they're missing Clayton Blommetjies a lot at the moment. Yeah, I'll be interested to sort of see if, I think earlier on the season Clayton Blommetjies was playing well. Clermont was cooking though. Kayla saying, I think Ulster are back even though they lost in the last minute to Lower Shell. They were great in that game. I've been very impressed with what I'm seeing from Ulster at the moment. I think it's quite an exciting team they've got going on there. And what is the water break? I thought we got rid of these water breaks. I thought we were done with this crap. Well, there's definitely a front row recruit for the Stormers if they ever need someone. The entire front row. And the man's polishing the beers to keep up that athleticism. Love to see it. Yeah. So many beers out there. I've heard that the Cape Town weather's been very similar to that. Yeah, onto the pink drinks. Yeah, you send it. You send it. January and good to see no dry January. There's no dry January out there. There's our French collection. Popcorn. Where are your beers? Where are the beers, lads? You're supposed to come here and drop your euros on the beers. Buy us beers. You've got foreign currency. Like when the Barmy Army's down here for England, like literally the first thing I do is find where they're sitting, go and park there and get them to buy me beers. So you got 25 rand to the pound. Go and sort it out. Good restart there from Clermont. Getting possession back. And once again, we'll see the Anthony Billier. Sorry, Baptiste Janot, rather. Will clear down. And another good take under the high ball there from Damian Williams. Has been safe as houses so far as Damian Williams under the high ball. Stephen Kitsoff almost lifted in the tackle there, but eventually put down safely. Cape Volta. Interesting kick. It's looking for a bit of distance there. Swirling around the Cape Town side. Marvin O'Connor, that looked much better from number 14. Almost charged down there was Newsom. And now down to see Cape Volta right up against the touchline. Goes to Damian Williams. So Damian Williams is a half gap. Does get through almost. Eventually brought down by Alexander Fisher. Ned Bashir changes direction, much like the Titanic might have. And Connor Evans once again will happily hit things up for him. And it's a good steal there. And poor breakdown work from Marvin Ory and Billy Engelbrecht, it must be said. Connor Evans made a reasonable carry. Wasn't particularly isolated. And just very, very poor cleaning out. And Alexander Fisher says, thank you very much. He's slightly isolated, but Marvin always got to do better than that. He's got to do better than that. You're a Springbok lock, chap. I expect to see much more from you in that sort of situation. So a bit poor there from Marvin Ory. As long as he's injured, he is, as far as I understand. I'm not quite sure what the situation is in terms of his injury. South African, we're not particularly good at keeping people updated with regards to injuries. Like, for example, I'm a Lions fan, and who knows who's injured for the Lions, because they never tell us what's going on. But Blommetjies played at the beginning of Jan, and I think he did get an injury there, if memory serves me correctly, if anybody else can remember. Stephen Unger has been caught on the ball. That's very sloppy from Stephen Unger. That's very, very poor. Offside, so maybe he'll claim that's why. But not, almost a bit of a heart and mouth moment for the scrum off, being a bit slow there. Megan Batson saying, come on Stormers, don't give them this game push through. Well, there we go. Megan certainly on the side of the Cape Town lads. And Cape Volta will put the Stormers into Clermont territory, barking out a few orders. Good to see the young man taking charge. Right, so the Stormers have hit the halfway mark. Sorry, the half an hour mark, rather. Now they do go to change of variation. Darmani straight down to Ungra. To Volta, flat to Dan Duplessis. Nice carry from the inside centre. Arizona Fisher, the tackler there. Now Ungra. Oh, I'm not sure he's got all of that. It's not gone particularly far. Who's going to want this? Or he's there. The ball's popping off a couple of people. Joe's perhaps back to Stephen Ungra, who then just pops to the boot. And he'll mark it. Probably a good idea there for Newsom. I think probably not a decent idea from Ungra to chip it over. I think just going far too far. If he had just sort of chipped that into a bit of space, could have been interesting because there was not much structure at all. So a couple of Stormers players everywhere. Anyway, the restart from Newsom is touched bound. Take it quickly though, bringing into Damien Willemse. Damien Willemse, what's he going to do? Looks to run. He sort of hands off, and oh, you know, you got the offload away, but there was no one there. And he's furious at Hartzenberg. He's only got to slap him on the head. Slap him. Tell him off. I mean, he gets him between throws of the chicken wing pass, and Hartzenberg's not there, and he's furious at the young wing. He's trying to play champagne rugby, and the buggers aren't supporting him. I can understand the frustration, to be fair. Don't worry, Damien. I would have been there for you, lad. Anyway, it's a good line there from Clermont. Morvan needs to be careful not to play the man in the air. In fact, there is an advantage. I think it is from that in the air as they break. And Fasale coming off the back there. Our first carry. I haven't really seen Tabel Lennon so far. Still penalty advantage for the wayside. Chip over the top, but it's been charged down. Was that charged down by Stephen Kitsoff? Still advantage being played though. And that's another charge down. They'll eventually go back for the penalty. After charge down, they'll eventually say, right, let's actually take control of this a bit. Accuracy, lacking for the Stormers at the moment. Very much lacking. Discipline a little bit poor as well, so I need to try and clear that up. And just need to start finding points. You know, they're getting into the right areas, but not carving out opportunities to score points. And there's no point having the territory, having the possession, having the chances, and not being able to do anything with them. Yeah, Marvin Ori just steals you. You know, he's entitled to get up and try and have a go, but then he needs to try and lead the player and just can't resist having a bit of a go. Okay, let's say Stormers need to wake up. Yeah, I agree. I think, you know, they've shown signs, but generally have not been at the races so far. And Connor Evans though goes to the top there, and Joseph Weber I think has knocked that on. No, he hasn't. And then he throws it. Yeah, eventually the call comes in. The referee doesn't seem to be paying much attention. Yeah, Joseph Weber trying to jump onto that ball. Connor Evans doing well to get up and disrupt the lineup, and Joseph Weber not managing to take it on the run. Yeah, it's unlucky from Joseph Weber, but so we'll have a scrum here. With 8 minutes left in the first half. 6 points to 0. So one converted try and the Stormers on the lead. Oh, it's good to carry that. And good hands, good hands. Damien Vince comes off his line, and it was a good read in the end. But Dalgi coming back on the inside, gets away from a couple. He's still going as the Argentinian wing, but he's fallen in front of Dion Free. He's got hands all over that and will win the penalty. That's what Dion Free does. That's his bread and butter. That's how he earns the brand of vein that he will drink later. He's got a bottle of Clipdrift, probably Clipdrift Premium. I reckon he does drink the decent stuff, and it's sitting in John Dobson's cupboard. And you know he gets given a quota. He's given, you know, you got to get 6 turnovers, and I'll hand you the bottle. If you don't get those, we're cutting you off. That's number 1 for Dion Free. And Kate Bollitter, nice touch finder. Halfway between the 22 and the 10. So the Stormers once again progressing up the field nicely. Yeah, he's in such a position of power there, it's Dion Free. Good low center of gravity from him. Hands on the ball, right to the hit. Says, thank you very much, we'll take the penalty. But now, accuracy. Accuracy. First things first. Got to win the line out. Connor Evans goes up. Brings it down to Ungra. To Clay Volta. Gets to ruin now this time is the primary ball carrier. Now, Joseph Drever. That's a nice hit from him. Good momentum this from the Stormers. Cape Volta to Diamani. It's a nice angle being run, but it was well defended by Dalgi. Now Ned Evershear finds a half gap. Gets a couple of paces through. Good continuity this way. Volta going to the captain, Stephen Kitzel. Good hands. Ball over the top from David Willemse to Hartenberg inside to Ruanel. Getting to the 22. Pops it up to Angura. Pass above the hands of Volta. He does well to give it to David Willemse, who gives to Marvin Ori. That pops it up to Joseph Dreber, who's going to go back on the angle. Probably played against quite a few of these players when he did some time for Bordeaux. Stephen Kitsov now not too much on, but structure being lost and the ball coming loose, in fact, and that kind of sums it up, and that was then knocked on. So double knock on there. It will be a Clermont scrum, and that kind of sort of sums it up, isn't it? A couple of nice phases, a couple of nice carries, and then just one moment there. Stephen Kitsov, the ball being, I think it was stripped, you know. So I think this is probably actually should probably be a Stormer scrum. There we go. That's an interesting stat. Clermont have had to make 96 tackles. They've missed just 3 so far. They made 93 tackles. So they've had to do a lot of defending, but they're defending very well. Vic saying Liebach Willemse Geland was like our Messi Neymar Suarez era. It's an interesting comparison. It's not the worst comparison, you know. The LWG, yeah. Right, 5 minutes to go. Another bit of break and play before we get the scrum going. And I think importantly for the Stormers is that they got to try and find some points before halftime. Don't go into halftime without any points.
On 3 occasions in this competition.
Right, big scrum, yeah. So for the 70% possession for the Stormers, and yet no points on the board. Conversion rate really poor. 75% territory. So doing everything right except scoring points. And the scrum's gone down. We'll have a reset. After the reset, we'll finally get our scrum going. Good scrum there from Clermont, back to back, and looking at a little bit of snipe going down the side there. Good hands. Stephen Unger's going to have to make a covering tackle here. He doesn't, and eventually the tackle's made by Damien Willems. So really good attack down the blind side there from Clermont. Now slow ball this, thankfully for the Stormers from Janio. Looks like a bit of off the ball incident as well. Hey, power. Another penalty. Dion Free, 2 down, 4 to go, and the man can open his clip drift. Maybe you can get them before half time, and you have a quick Brunnervein and Coke before he comes back on. I reckon he'll probably play a lot better with it, to be fair. He looks like a guy that I reckon, instead of having halftime oranges, he's probably smacking a couple of beers. Okay, just a bit of talking to both camels. Okay, so we're from the referee just to say that when the player moves away, no more afters and stuff like that. Dante saying, although they make many errors, 100%. Michaela saying, usually Stormers score lots. First 20 minutes, for some reason, concede lots. Second 40, maybe stay the opposite. Well, you're going to hope so. So, yeah, David Willems said, of course, Dion Faris involved before he then decides that he needs to go get a couple of turnovers. All right, penalty this for Stormers. They'll be able to kick their way into Clermont territory once again. But you've got to find some points here, people. No, he's after kicking to you, I think. Shot call, he's backing himself here, is Kate Voliter. Not the worst idea if he does get it. You know, they need points. They don't necessarily need tries, just need some points, need some momentum. Got to get some reward for what they've been doing. All the possession, all the territory, no reward. Gets very frustrating. So, yeah, I think it's a good decision, but now he needs to capitalize on it. That's a good point, actually, the fact that the Stormers generally start pretty well. So yeah, I'm interested to see if they can string together a good second half performance. Because they are a side that tends to kind of blow teams away almost, and then even if there's a bit of a comeback, kind of survive in the second half. Not really known for the big comebacks, but Cape Violet has an opportunity to halve the deficit on the halfway line. He struck it pretty well. He's turned immediately, and that has sailed over the top. He had an extra couple of meters as well. Very good kick there from Cape Violet. He opens his account for the game. Stormers open their account for the game, and it's 3 points to 6 with just under 2 minutes to go in the first 40 minutes up against Clermont in the final round of the group stage of the European Champions Cup. The Stormers need to win this game and try and put themselves really into the mix in that last 16. Right, and the restart going towards the left-hand side, and I think it's Andrew Bassi who'll get underneath that. Nell, in fact, will get underneath that. A couple of nice players that can come on later, though, for the Stormers. Daimani, looking industrious as always. Evan Ruiz, for example, we can bring him on later. Ursula Yankee's good to see him back. Needs to try and get him back into form. Now, Angara. He's got a very, very high box kick, and Suna Hartzenberg gets up early. The ball comes back to Dion Ferry, who sat down the first scrum off. Stephen Angara goes down and presents it to Dion to Kate Voliter. Goes back to Stephen Kitsoff. Stormers with a penalty advantage. It's saying Clermont with the advantage, which is a bit strange given the fact that Stormers have got the ball. So not sure if there is an advantage or not. Philip Bissett, a nice pass to Billy Engelbrecht. Good offload back inside to Dan Duplessis. Dan Duplessis looking for work. Pops it back into Billy Engelbrecht. Billy Engelbrecht short brought down just inside Clermont's half. Not too many options there. Damon Villizer puts in the cross kick. Where is Hartzenberg? That's what he's going to be asking as well. Bouncing on the touchline, which means it's bounced out on the full. Where's his wing? Yeah, it was a very big call there from Marvin O'Connor to let it bounce. It was a good one in the end. But just no, I mean, if there's a wing there, I reckon he's running straight onto that, and it would have been very interesting as we go into the last, what will be basically the last play of the day, of the half. Good line up there for Clermont. They're on the halfway line looking for the rolling more here as the clock does turn red. There goes the hooter. Ball's available, and they're just keeping the top. So Clermont happy to end that. So half time, the visitors leading 6 points to 3. The Stormers with all the possession, all the territory, and yet just the 3 points. Got to try and be a bit more accurate and turn their chances into points in the second half. But lots of positives, I suppose, in terms of having all possession, having a lot of the territory, just to find out about working hard to turn that into points. And then they should be smiling and then happy days. Please don't go away. Please do subscribe to the channel if you are new. Please do smash a like on the video as well. And we'll be back after the halftime breaks. We'll get some beverages, and I'll see you in just a little bit. Right, hello everybody, and welcome back to Stormers versus Clermont, who trail actually. The Stormers home side. They've had all the possession, they've had all the territory, and yet cannot get any reward from it really. So it's been pretty poor. Is the only real way to say, because you've got to be finding reward. You've got to be converting this pressure into points. Because if you're not, you're mucking around. To be perfectly honest, and it's been frustrating to see them with so many opportunities and not taking them at all. So that's something they're going to have to improve on a big time in the second half, which is still a few minutes away. So, what are your thoughts of the first half? Curious to see what some of the people are saying and stuff like that. Stormers decided characteristics start pretty well and then kind of fade off towards the end a little bit. This very much a different vibe. So we'll need to be, we'll need to start strong. We'll need to get out there and get up to a good start. And what we'll need to see what the changes do. For example, you can bring in an Evan Lewis, for example, onto the park. What sort of difference is he gonna make? You can bring on a Hershey Yankees, for example. So there's a couple of nice players they can bring on. They do have a reasonably good bench, but they've got to improve. That's the big thing. You've got to see improvement a lot. And I think, it's a couple of changes to the side, and I think it has definitely, messed with the sort of the chemistry. I don't think they are playing like a side that play a lot together. Kate Volter's first game in a long time, and I think it's showing. I think he's, I think there's just struggled with a bit of chemistry. I haven't really had the sort of the flow and the structure maybe that they might be used to with the likes of Monty Block, for example. But that's no excuse. You've got to be able to get in and you've got to be able to do the job. Interesting to see if maybe Sasha Feinberg Zulu comes on, get some minutes as well. Some very interesting SA20 action happening over in the cricket. JSK needing 30 or 24 balls. So that could potentially get a lot closer than it maybe should have. But we're focusing on this game. And please do keep smashing the like of the video. Set up to 30 likes, even up to 150 likes, which would be pretty ideal. As the two teams are getting back onto the park. Stormers playing right to left this half. They will be kicking off as well. So an opportunity for them to you got to start strong. You got to find some early points here. Da 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 da. Two stepping on the woman on the left. Dee da da dee da da dee da da da. Right, and the ref blows the whistle, and K Volta gets underway for the second half, going down to the left-hand side. And it's caught and dispatched by Anthony Billio. And Williams says fumbled. That's a fantastic clearance, by the way. He's found touch deep inside. Well, not deep inside, but pretty much almost another 10-meter line inside the Stormers. So that's a great touch finder off the back. What's about saying this 9-10 is the worst I've ever seen, especially the 9 getting off the park. He must never play a game for the Stormers. That's probably a little bit. I think it's probably being a little bit over dramatic. But fine. That's what you feel. Marvin Ori tapping it back for Stefan Ungerer. Kate Volta going to Dan du Plessis. Dan du Plessis looked to try hard. Like to see with a bit more sort of go forward ball. Ungerer back to Volta. Volta going to the boot. Hartzenberg is chasing hard, but it should be uncontested. It is uncontested. And Newsom goes down, and Clermont can keep the ball just by the 10-meter line on the left-hand side of the park. Inside ball, but nearly Bashir was away for the threat. The ball came loose, and it will be a knock-on, I think, so we will have a scrum. Thank you very much, King. I appreciate it. Who is the kicker in terms of who's taking the... Well, in 10 for Stormers is K Volta. This past in all my 77 years in rugby, that's 9 of the Stormers as capture, worst 9 ever. See schoolboy stuff. 77 years of rugby. Be very surprised if this is the worst summer performance in 77 years. But, I suppose. I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion. 77 years is a long time. I don't think he's been that bad. I mean, I think him and Volta have looked like players who haven't played a lot of rugby recently, but I don't think they've been dreadful. Darmani off the back of the scrum. Now inside ball. Volta, you did see half a gap. Giving the go for there. Ungra now to Neatly Bashir. Good momentum this from the Stormers. Damian Williams a flat to Stephen Kitsoff. Much better this from the men in blue. Ungra now goes to the left hand side. Williams not too many options. Gets on the outside, looking for the offload. Angela Davis to come back in and do a bit of breakdown work. Well done by Angela Davis with sevens experience, I reckon, coming in clutch there. Better here from the Stormers to go into their 6th phase. Flat from Volta to Neatly Bashir. And penalty offbeat. Decision time now for the Stormers. Got a bit of momentum, so you can go for the corner. This is very much 3 points on the card here. So it's right in front of the poles. I want to imagine you take the 3 points, get yourself level, go again. So early in the half. Yeah, they are going to take the points, which is the right decision, I think. You know, don't mess around. Take the points, get yourself going for the second half. Start well. Again, you know, they spend so much time in Clermont's half. If they managed to find more penalties and opportunities, they could be well ahead. So yeah, definitely take the points on offer. Right, Caleb Volta is operating at 50%. He slightly hooked one earlier in the half before sending one that was straight ahead down the post, and it was actually a bit closer. This should be pretty rudimentary for the young pivot. Slide to the left. He struck it pretty well, and he turns immediately. A nice kick there, and scores on level after really basically 44 minutes on the clock. Stormers starting much better than the first half. Getting into Clermont's half, finding a penalty, taking the points, and we go again. And 6 points to 6 with 36 minutes rather. Mass is leaving me on the clock. Clermont going to on the right hand side, and Dan Duplessis, the man underneath it, good take, and very well done with the hit from Dalgi. And he's still going. He's absorbed quite a few tackles. Nice work there from Dan Duplessis. I'm going to go to Darmani, very quick up the line, gets the offload away to Connor Evans. And a penalty. That's the worst possible thing you could do. You've just scored 3 points. You come back, you get yourself isolated, they get over the ball, they win a penalty, it's right by the poles. This will be 9 points to 6. Stormers will go behind once again. And that is a coach killer, an absolute coach killer. You've had a halftime talk, we've talked about, you know, discipline, you know, not giving them any easy points, you know, get yourself back into the game, you go and do that, you start well, you get yourself into a good position, you're like, cool. Now we just need to just get this, you know, clear our lines and get us nicely, and bang, you can see the penalty. But so reinforcements are coming. Herschel Yankees, Evan Russ being readied on the side of the field. Almost like Jean Duplessis as well. He's going to be coming on. 28-year-old fly half. Haven't seen too much of him this season. Coming back from Japan, who's playing for the Honda Heat for a brief spell. Where he actually left Stormers and Province to go to Japan. Now he's back. Former SA under-20 player is Jean-Luc Duplessis. And yeah, I want to just add the extra 3, and Stormers once again behind. But it looks like the big reinforcements are coming in. Herschel Yankees, Evan Russ, international quality. And it is Jean-Luc Duplessis as well. So I reckon we're going to see the end of Stefan Ungra, the end of Cade Volta. And interesting to see who goes off from the pack perspective. One imagines it'll probably be Willy Engelbrecht. And you'll see Darmani go onto the flank, because that is the loose chair that won them the URC. And yeah, Willy Engelbrecht is the man that makes way. Evan Russ back on the park. Isn't that exciting? We've been waiting to see him come back from an injury. Hopefully get back to form pretty quickly. All right, Jean-Luc Duplessis will get things underway. Sends things pretty deep. A nice big tackle there. Cameron Jones and just lodging the ball. Brilliant stuff there from the hooker. And Evan Russ is up and charging immediately. Knock-on advantage for the Stormers. Herschel Yankees goes back to Jean-Luc Duplessis. Looks to see a bit of space in behind. And the ball pops up and it's a knock-on. Is it a knock ahead? Could this be a penalty? What is the decision here? Knock-on is the call. I mean, you talk about deliberate knockdown. I don't think he's ever in a position of really catching this. Was he? This is going to be an interesting decision here.
So, Tom,
Is that Luke Pierce to the sideline?
you've heard what's been said. We just want to check firstly, has he deliberately played into touch?
Has he deliberately played into touch, which would be a penalty. If there's nobody else, could be a penalty try here. And how's that for a first contribution for Jean-Luc Duplessis? Right, let's see what this is going to be here. I tell you what, big decision to make here. Big decision to make here. Okay, so at the very minimum, it's a penalty. They're now looking to see if it could be a bit more. If there's a potential line break. You know, is this cynical? Is this stopping a what would have been a try? So it could be a bit more. Okay, in real time here. I tell you what. I tell you what. Yep, yellow card. Number 10, right. That's a big moment in the game because Clermont have just lost their playmaker as Anthony Villiers will go to the bin for 10 minutes. It's a penalty as well, and I'm sure the Stormers will knock this into touch and try and get their first try of the match. Big moment in the game. Big moment in the game. Yep, they go to the corner. Right. Big moment this in the game. Down to 14 men for the next 10 minutes. First things first, win the line. They have. Go to Marvin Ori. Pretty good strong start to them all as well. It's a bit lateral. But now looking to try and break away. Evan Ruiz is working hard. Evan Ruiz. I mean, it's the power. Evan Ruiz is back, boys. He's back. And Stormers fans, Springbok fans will be very happy to see that. And that's the moment the Storm. That could be a bit of a watershed moment, I think. You know, I think that could be a bit of a release. Because they've been struggling. And Evan Ruiz just spins away from the ruck and just pure power to get over. Power and determination. Yeah, it's the leg drive there. My seat's collapsing here. I've got to try and pump it back up. Come on. And Dion Free as well, fighting with him. Eventually managed to bundle him over the line. Really good work there from the Stormers number 8. What an impact sub that is. Oh, impact subs plural, really, because Jean-Luc Duplessis was the one who kicked that in behind and created the opportunity. He'll now have a conversion attempt. He currently sits at 2 points. He'll want to try and double that lead to 4. All right, let's see if Duplessis got his kicking boots on. Looking good. Does sneak in on the left-hand side. So, kick is good. Stormers go to the lead, 13 points to 9, and the yellow card to Clermont. If they can make this count, then they should be able to try and really set this game up for themselves. Good work there from the number 8. They're really saying, keep it up, boys. Bring that Storm. Show them that the Storm is all the way. Well, there we go. That's kind of a Storm that I'm sure people have been waiting to see. And a much better take from the kickoff. And now Hershey Yankees needs to find a decent touch. He can't find touch, sorry. He's finding a decent clearance kick. It's up against the touch line. And Angela David is circling. And Evan Ruiz is up there to make the tackle. Looking to try and make a nice big impact so far. The young number 8. Nice big tackle coming from Connor Evans and Stephen Kitsoff. Evan Ruiz trying to get over that ball. Now Newsroom coming into the number 10 channel. Onto the other card to Villiers. Oh no! It was almost A knock backwards was the call, so it's still going. It was an almost interception, but knock backwards. Another Stormers going. Netley Bashir trying to hit a gap. Good work this from the Stormers. Oh, a penalty though. That's a really good penalty to winning one there. And I think it's the little scrum off. He's got away with it. That's a very good intervention. Stormers looked like they were gonna go pretty far there, and a very timely intervention from the young scrum off. He gets over and hangs over dear life, wins the side of penalty, and a bit of relief. But he's not going to find touch, is he? Nope, doesn't find touch. Hartzenberg goes inside to Jean-Luc Duplessis. Brings up that left boot of his, just pumps it down the path, not looking for touch. And use him underneath it. And he's found touch on the full. That's a dreadful kick. That's really, really poor. So the Stormers line out halfway between the 10 meter and the 10-22. So it's a big open, a couple of mistakes not creeping into the away side. Change of hookers though, and Benjamin Badu will come on, as well as a change in tighthead with Kubriashvili entering the fold as well. Connor Evans front of the line out. Good win there. Popping up to Joseph Weber. He brings it down to Duplessis. A really good angle. Gets away from one. Does down Duplessis. Pops it away to Hershey Yankee. Hershey Yankee steps back inside. He's just short of the 22 as the young scrum off. Dion Ferree getting away from one. As a second go. Gets also short shot of the 22 now. Hershey Yankee's called down the right hand side. Hartzenberg gets around the outside. Hartzenberg is just short. Can he get the offload away? Oh, Hershey Yankees. The impact subs. Goodness me. Hartzenberg, the offload, the take, the finish. Hershey Yankees, this is what we used to see him do. He just sniffs out a try. He knows where the try line is. He gets there, and he's just got that ability. And we're seeing it there. Goodness me. I mean, it looked like it was never going to be a try. And then they go down the blind side. Hartzenberg, bang, steps out away from O'Connor, gets away, gets eventually brought down, pops it up. Hershey Yankees, bang, bang, bang. Does he stay inside here? Yeah, absolutely no issue with that grounding as well. Really good work there from Hershey Yankees. Well, how's that? You bring on Hershey Yankees and Evan Lewis, and they both score your try within 5 minutes. And Stormers have gone bang, bang. With the conversion to come, they could go and take an 11-point lead. And this is kind of more what we kind of expected, isn't it? Much better from the Stormers in the second half. Yeah, it's always going to go towards the left, so he misses the conversion. So 18 points to 9. It's a 9-point game as it stands, but the Stormers really making that one-man advantage count early on. And yeah, I kind of went and looked at the replay there. It's in fact a very good cover tackle from Benjamin Badu, but really poor from the 14. That's been launched off the kickoff. That's going to run all the way. That's another mistake after mistake after mistake, and you kind of feel that they've almost just lost it at the moment. I mean, from missing missing touch to the missed tackle there, now going into touch off the kickoff. Clermont just looked like almost like deers in headlights. Right, so scrum on the halfway line for the Stormers. Nice attacking opportunity for them. Ball's available for Hershey Yankees to the back. Looking like they'll go down the left-hand side. Yep, goes to Johnny Duplessis. Goes to Ruanel. Quick ball to Hershey Yankees. To Evan Ruiz. Nice strong leg drive from him. Making a few meters as he always seems to do. On Duplessis, nice and flat to Dos Dwebo. Whops the ball up. Good handling. And Johnny Duplessis. Straight down the middle. Has he got the pace? Yeah, he's got all the pace. He's going to go all the way. Bang, bang, bang. The triple tap. And they're over. And this is looking very ominous from after Clermont. Wow. I mean, they were in the game. In fact, they were leading when they came out at half time. And within 15 minutes, Stormers have gone from 3 points to 23 points. They scored 20 points in about 12 minutes. And now this is the Stormers that we kind of... And a nice distribution there from Hershey Yankees. And Johnny Duplessis goes inside, outside, gets around Newsom. Bang. He's got a couple of options anyway. Great offload there off the ground as well. Yeah, it's really good work. Really good work there. And now Stormers very much hitting their straps. Looking much more like the Stormers you're kind of known to love, or, well, some people love. I don't say I've got much love for Stormers. Bloody Cape Town team, no time for you. And Johnny Duplessis adds the extras, 25 points to 9. 3 tries, one more try, and it's a bonus point there for the Stormers, which will definitely be what they'll be searching for now. Oh, bit of a messy line, restart. JJ Kotz is on the park. Knock-on advantage for the Stormers. And no advantage play there, so they will go through the knock-on. A bit of break and play here. And I'm sure a couple of very happy Stormers supporters all around there after the last 12 minutes of action. Right, so JJ Kotze, another sub there. So just the 2 props. And Ben Jason Dixon, I think, are the only players that remain. Oh, and Sasha Feinberg on Zulu still on the bench there for Stormers. Plenty of time for them to be introduced. I reckon one more try, and we could see Sasha and Gomazulu probably come on at inside centre, I'd imagine. And a penalty at scrum time for Stormers at last. And I think Stephen Kitsoff will feel that was well overdue. And yeah, I think it's just going from bad to worse now for the away sides. And the French side really struggling. You know, they trail by 16 points. And it's all kind of just falling apart in the early stage of the second half. But Creative Stormers, though, started really well. And obviously, whatever the team talk was from John Dobson has definitely kicked them into gear. Because, yeah, they're looking proper now. Well, it's really athletic there by Jaja Kotzer to jump on that ball and keep possession for the Stormers. Evan Roos, another carry. The Yankees go back to Johnny Duplessis, who just whacks it down that right-hand side. Hartzenberger's lurking. Oh, he gets it wrong. It comes off his face and goes out. It was actually a really good kick from Jean-Luc Duplessis. A really nice option as well. Ball over the top there. And Hartzenberg's got Damon Venice. There's a long pass out. It's been intercepted. And Baptiste Galgi, is anyone going to catch him? Is he going to catch him? No, he's going to go all the way. Oh, that is a gift. That is so poor. So poor. Because it's an absolute gift. And you can see why Jean-Luc Duplessis is furious with that. Because from nothing, Simon Hartzenberg has thrown a very unnecessary lofted pass. For what reason? And just no reason whatsoever. So poor. You sit there going, how have you managed to do that? How have you managed to really just allow them back into the game for free? For free, really. Yeah, poor. It's the only way to really say it. Poor. Right, restart from Jean-Luc Duplessis. Right, Stormers back to basics, really. I mean, really, we'll talk about doing brilliantly and then just giving away a gift. It's a pretty poor kick that from but free catch. Penalty for blocking though. So now opportunity, and this is Stormers got to go to the corner here, obviously. Got to try hit back here. I think this is quite important for them. They've got to hit back. Muspar says poor by Angela Davis. Contender said maybe time to see Fame Gomez at 15 since Wiltshire should shift to 14. I reckon we'll see Gomez really down at 12. I reckon probably only get about 15 minutes. I reckon we might see him. If we score a try, I reckon I'll send him on. Here comes Brock Harris. And Ben Jason Dixon on for Connor Evans as well. Marvin Ori goes up. Pretty strong looking more. They've got the run on them. They've got the run on them. They've got the run on them. JJ Kotzer, can he get it down? He's down, and that should be try number 4, the bonus point, as I'm going to remove the yellow card for Clermont. The bonus points, that's the main thing, isn't it? That's what they needed to come out and get after that really good start. And they've got a Dion Free as the man who's come up with the ball. And that's, the perfect response, really. After throwing a bit of a gift and allowing Clermont a half gap, almost opening the door. Once they open the door, almost like unlocking the door. And then they've now locked it straight back, and they bolted it. And it's just another looking good running more. The pack has definitely pitched up this the second half. Good to see. And Dion Free will get that try. And the main thing is that that'll be the bonus point. All right, John Duplessis, he's kicked pretty well so far. This will be another difficult chance for him on the right-hand side. Far left, and he's left-footed. So this is, probably about as hard as the kick as you could give the man. But he's just going to start this towards the right and try and bring it back. Or else he needs to fade it, a little right to left. Or else he just needs to try and pump this pretty hard and straight down the middle. Yeah, it does go straight, but it goes straight down and it goes towards the right. But 14 points, the margin at the moment. 2 converted tries will only get Clermont level. So Storm is still very much ahead and very comfortable. And the nice thing is, that's the bonus point. So now, every time you get an opportunity to take points, you take the 3, you just start building yourself. And with that, they have hooked Steven Kitsoff, brought down Ali Mark. And, oh my living, that's a massive hit on John Duplessis. Dan Duplessis. He's gonna feel that in the morning. That's welcome to the game. It's Miles Amatosorio. Goodness me, he's actually hammered Dan Duplessis. Who I'm very impressed if he gets up quickly after that. Right, Newsom, who's been a little bit of a woesome half this half. Brings in the replacement. Good tackle being made there by Hershey Yankees. Bring on Francois Clermont. Quite a few replacements on now for Clermont. Brock Harris getting involved. There's Ben Jason Dixon with his Stormer scrum cap. Good hands. And there's a bit of an overlap as Marvin O'Connor comes inside. Marvin Ori has to do the cleanup work, but Clermont into Stormer's territory. We have a bit of snipe there. There's the scrum off. Almost catching people a couple unaware there. Baptiste Joannio. Tackle got a release. Ben Jason Dixon getting stuck on some defensive duties. They're going down the left-hand side once again. Darmani making another tackle. JJ Kotzer there as well, helping him out. Now towards the right-hand side. Plenty of winning runners. Ben Jason Dixon has been a bit of a brick wall since coming on. Now looking to spread. Looking to run the hands. Bit of a trip there from Colin May. Ben Jason Dixon. I'll tell you what. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he had when he came on, but he's been a defensive maniac. And it's Ben Jason Dixon once again. Now the counter attack on. Run now pops up to Brock Harris, who's man's just vibing. Damien Willemser. Stormers turn over ball now. Ben Jason Dixon, the man who's just put in a defensive masterclass for about 4 minutes. Trying to receive a bit of space in this trip and go. It's going to stand up for him as well, isn't it? He comes away with it. Trying to find the ball over the top, but he's actually given it straight back to Clermont. Now the interception and kicked back, and Damon Villet's going to have to move back, and there's not too many options here. So we're just going to go to the boot here. And it's not the best kick there from Damon Villet. So nice batch to play, though, but defensively, though, from Stormers. That's a bit of a break, and we've got a change in scrum half. The youngster leaves, and Sebastian Breezy goes on. Beezy. And Fabian Gomez on for the NWC as expected. So probably shifting to that inside centre role, I'm sure. And Clermont trying to get back on the front foot here. And Michel now on the park as well, number 22 jersey. So I think Clermont have emptied their bench. Going into their 6th phase here. Now the ball comes loose and turnover ball to Armani. Goes to the left to Fabian Gomezulu. Brings that. Oh, brilliant from Damien Willems. So good at take and a spin. Oh, and the offload Hersha Yankees as well. And a great. Oh, jeepers. This is getting a bit childish. Now Evan Moss getting into the action. Evan Ruiz is going to be brought down. But what a nice couple of offloads and takes and pops off the ground. Now a bit of a space. Dion Free. Oh, can't find Ruan now. And ball comes back to Fabian Gomezulu. Penalty is playing the ball on the ground though from Ruan now. Probably he should know better. Should know better. That was pretty actually poor in the end by the vets. Running more now. Come on, looking to get one back as we enter the final 10 minutes. Ben Jason Dixon's been looking really good defensively and very impressed with the work rates coming on. Really good and stuck in here. Now Fabian Gomezulu trying to hold him up, but tackle is called, so he has to release. And we'll come back for the penalty for Clermont, and they'll go down to the right-hand side. Sure, go take the line out. Time is off. Take a drink, apparently, is the call. 9 minutes left. Can't we just keep going? Looks like a vibey stadium, though. Looks like a vibey stadium. What I would be doing to be... Oh, yeah, slug it. Slotted, 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 slotted. Come on! Oh, cameraman. That's poor form. This is looking much better, yeah, from Clermont. Benjestic's going across the line. He's fallen short in his back. He's not particularly happy. But, yeah, still remains a Clermont ball. Last 7 minutes. They've done well to defend them all. It's short here. That's good. I was about to say it was good. It was a good defensive read, but poor defense in the end by everyone now. But Francois Duplessis getting involved and they're knocked out on the ground. So it will be a scrum for the Stormers. Yep, they go to the corner right. Big moment this in the game. Down to 14 men for the next 10 minutes. They have to go to... Another reset. Yeah, I mean, for a game that we got quite exciting at one stage, it's kind of sort of fizzling out, isn't it? Finally, we should have a scrum here. Big scrum, and Dion does have the ball, and it is available. And Dane Willemse will clear from the back. Fabian Gomezulu and Hartsberger is chasing after it. Cutting inside here. Fabian Gomezulu making it going high there. And a yellow card. Yeah, a bit of afters there. I mean, I never understand that. It's so dumb. I mean, it's Miles Amatosero went to go and shoved Fabian Gomezulu afterwards. He puts his hand up immediately. You know, and then You know, think, and what's the point? You know, you've just been hammered. You're losing by 14 points. You're losing the match. And you have to go, I mean, what is that? It's a weird thing, you know. For me, when you're losing the match, you know, you just. So if Amy Gold is to go to the bin. Yeah, it goes high, comes up, he apologizes quickly. It is a yellow card, there's no real issue there. So Storms will finish with 14 men. It's a bit frustrating, so we'd like to see what he could have done. But yes, really, no need for any afters, really.
Slides activity. His mistake is carrying on. He was spotted from a low position, but also his opponent was almost running sideways. It is a difficult one to make when he's chasing.
Pretty strong. Oh, a bit of a cramp there. Oh no! Oh no! It looks like a lot of pain as Killian took you on the side there, but good more defense from the Stormers. But Clermont still on the attack here. And Newton gets on the outside. 2-on-1 situation. Oh, how have they butchered that? How have they butchered that? Goodness me, that should have been a try. It's clear possession though. Evan Ruiz making the tackle. Stormers having to defend hard with 14 men. Lost forward though. Hershey Yankees now. Under a bit of pressure. So, yeah, I mean, this is going to go back eventually to Damien Williams, I'm sure, or Jean-Luc Duplessis. She's going to pump this as far down the field as possible. I mean, Brock Harris looks like he's about to pull out a young diving pass there, reminiscent of the late years from the Vestes, and then was going to be told, no.
Makes the clearance.
Right, so Clermont having to build from deep as we go into the last minute of the game. Ah, they've just fumbled it forward. Goodness me. And that kind of sums it up, doesn't it? What do you mean, how's that a yellow card? Of course it's a yellow card. He literally tacks him around the neck. Do you not understand how the rules work? He even knew it was a yellow card. That's dreadful, though. That is absolutely dreadful from Batista Doggy. Goodness me, this game has deteriorated very, very quickly. Well, it was a good sort of match from that sort of 41 to 60 minute period. Since then, it's kind of deteriorated quite quickly. There's a bit of a bonus drive to Batista Doggy, but apart from that, it's been pretty ordinary. There goes the siren, so it literally just has to go in and come out and be kicked out, and they'll be all good in the hood. All Stormers need to do is get this towards the back and kick it out, and they get a penalty as well. So I reckon with the quick tap, pop it out. Thank you very much for the game. And life is good. And that's exactly what they do. Right, well, there we go. It took a while for the Stormers to get going. A really poor first half, but a magnificent period in the second half was enough. Final score from the DHL Stadium, 30 points to 16. Really good work there from the Stormers. People, thank you very much for joining me. It was a privilege as always. Please do subscribe on the way out. Please do smash like on the video as well. And I'll see you guys all next time. We'll be live on Monday with SA20 once again. And yeah, plenty of content coming your way next week. Also some exciting news coming in very soon as well. So keep an eye out for that.